Hey Scorpio, this is your look at the astrology of March 2021. My name is Katie Sweetman and this is Empowering Astrology. So let's take a look at things. I think the thing that is the biggest factor in March is that your planet Mars is changing signs. It's been in Taurus, your relationship sign, since January 6th. So since January 6th until March 3rd, this has been a time to focus on other people. So maybe there's been starts of new relationships, maybe there's just been an uptick of connection, but this has been more about the needs of other people versus maybe the needs of yourself. So with Mars going into Gemini on March 3rd, you sort of step into some familiar territory, so to speak. Now, Scorpio, you are the 8th sign of the zodiac. Gemini is your 8th sign. You gotta do a little mental gymnastics with me for a moment. So if you count out 8 from Scorpio, you get Gemini in sequential order. So there's this relationship, this natural relationship between Gemini and Scorpio, even though on paper they seem so different, because Gemini is a sign that sort of looks at the surface of things and then Scorpio goes into the depths. But Gemini is a reminder for you that life is about duality. This is something you know in the deepest core of your being, that there is light and dark, that there is death and life, that there are night and day, that there is this natural inbuilt duality in everything. Now, this is where Scorpio has to really master itself, because in the lowest form of Scorpio, they haven't really mastered this duality and they go back and forth. So this is why Scorpio can sometimes seem a little bit like a Gemini. They sort of go back and forth between these two states within themselves, the higher version of themselves, the lower version of themselves. So for some of you, this is going to bring up a lot of deep emotions. So how do you find that inner balance within? How do you do the deep work this month? You're thinking like, I'm done with the deep work. Oh no, Scorpios, you chose to be incarnated as Scorpio in this lifetime. So do keep in mind that there was a lunar eclipse back in Gemini on November 30th, and you are already in a larger framework of time that is about doing that deeper work. Gemini is what I like to call your 8th room of your astrology house. The 8th room is where we have to go and face ourselves. So maybe over the last, 4 months at this point, you've had to face yourself or face something, or go much deeper within than you normally do, Scorpio. And maybe to that point, because it's been about relationships since January, maybe it's brought up a lot of deeper vulnerabilities. Can I trust people? Can I open up? Do remember that you are in a larger umbrella of time where you need to let people in. You need to really reinvent how you connect with people, because Scorpio, you can't sort of do the Scorpio thing anymore, not with Uranus and Taurus for the next few years. That said, really note what sort of powerful emotions are coming up. Really note what's coming up as Mars gets closer to the degree of the lunar eclipse. This will be around the middle of March. That said, it's Pisces season, and Pisces season for you is a season to focus on creativity, self-expression, identity. Who are you? How do you express who you are? And maybe with everything that's going on, you're having to, with all the deep inner work, you're going to have to get granular about what makes you you. With the Pisces New Moon on March 13th, this is your sort of reset for the month for creative projects, to kind of focus on self-expression, to kind of highlight performance talents and abilities, and really cultivate anything that makes you you. It's also a time of romance, a kind of fun, children, as much as one can have fun these days. Jupiter, the ruler of the new moon, is over in what's called your 4th sign, Aquarius, the bottom of your chart. So there is a sense of having to look at family, home, sort of the duties and obligations we have to family, and maybe to, kind of having to take care of children, if that's something that's relevant to you, of course. But how do you identify and with who you are, and how maybe that's been shaped for better or for worse, by family and some of the things that you have to navigate in your home environment, especially growing up as a kid. A couple days later, we will, Mercury will move into Pisces. So you're kind of getting out of this time where there's been so much focus on home. Back in February, at one point, we had 6 planets in Aquarius, one of which is Saturn. And do remember, Scorpio, that you're in a larger period of time where it is about settling down. It is about really kind of getting back to the foundation of your life. So you've sort of been really focused on that area. Maybe you made a big move in February. Maybe you're thinking about a big move, or maybe you're thinking about, like, down the road, what would that even look like? So that said, Mercury is leaving Aquarius. It goes into Pisces. So maybe you get a little bit more playtime, a little bit more time to travel and explore and to create and to do things like that. But we go into towards the end of the month, and then it's Aries season. So the sun moves into Aries on March 20th. And Aries for you is a sign of work and projects and taking care of your day-to-day life, an area that Mars, your planet, spent the second half of 2020. So maybe in a way you're returning to projects that you started back in 2020. Maybe you need to refocus on your physical life, including health and wellness. Maybe new initiatives, new actions, and how you take care of yourself. So this is a time when you are sort of looking at diet, you're sort of looking at your fitness and nutrition regimen, and maybe sort of taking a look at your schedule in general. Do keep in mind, because Mars, the ruler of Aries, is over in Gemini, doing a little gymnastics here, you're having to also take care of your psychological health. So it's a good time to recommit to taking care of your psychological or your mental health and well-being. Venus will join the sun. It moves into Aries on March 21st. Venus is your relationship sign. Venus is also the planet that talks about letting things go. It's about kind of the attachments that we hold on to, the addictions that we have, the obsessions. Not that you have any obsessions, Scorpio. But as we get into the end of the month, there is a Libra full moon on March 28th. So Libra represents the last sign of your chart. The last sign is about endings. It's the end of a cycle. It's the end of a journey, something that you, Scorpio, know all too well. It's something that you can appreciate, that all things at some point have to come to an end. So this full moon is asking you to dig deep. And with all the things that are going on in your 8th room, so to speak, maybe this is the time to really let go of a lot of deeper emotional, spiritual things that you've been attached to. These could be patterns, this could be memories, this could be the past, anything that actually has a negative impact on how you take care of yourself or how you do day-to-day living, or even your relationship with your body. By the way, your body is this most beautiful thing that you inhabit. So maybe this is a time for you to fully inhabit yourself instead of mostly being up here as opposed to all of here. So if you're finding that there's a sense of like having to surrender, having to let go with this full moon, don't be surprised. Venus, the ruler of the full moon, is over in Aries. It's also conjunct Chiron. Now, Chiron's a little bit of an interesting factor in astrology. It's a pain point. And we all, as humans, have something that makes us hurt or makes us suffer. Maybe it's self-worth. Maybe it's using our voice. Maybe it's having courage and bravery. So Chiron is in Aries right now. It will be in Aries for the next few years. And so this full moon might ask you to get very brave and courageous about something. Maybe it's brave and courageous to let something go from the past. Maybe it's brave and courageous to heal something. Maybe it's brave and courageous to take care of yourself in a way that you've never taken care of yourself. With, again, Mars and Gemini, this is really asking you to get vulnerable. This is the irony about Scorpio. It's a sign that's about vulnerability, but does Scorpio want to be vulnerable? No. only when it's on their terms. So this full moon, it's not on your terms. Maybe something is really kind of digging and stirring, and Scorpio normally just wants to be in control of how it feels and how the situation plays out, but maybe Scorpio just got to let it go. So that is some food for thought for you, Scorpio, as we round out March of 2021. Again, my name is Katie Sweetman. This is Empowering Astrology. Follow me online at empoweringastrology.com. I'm also on Instagram, IGTV, Empowering Astro, or Facebook, Empowering Astrology, Twitter also as well. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next month. Bye.